Transition to cashless ticketing. Malawi Airlines would like to inform all valued customers that effective 1st May, all ticket purchases will be conducted exclusively through cashless transactions. As part of this transition, payment will be accepted via bank transfers and POS machines for various banks available at our offices. This measure is designed to streamline our processes, reduce transaction times, and ensure a safer, more secure way of completing bookings. Cashless ticketing will complement our existing online booking platforms, our website, and our mobile application while aligning with global aviation practices that embrace digital payment solutions. We encourage all customers to prepare for this change by making use of the available electronic payment facilities. Our sales and airport staff will be available to guide and assist customers during this transition. For further assistance, please contact our customer service team via customerrelations@malawianairlines.com or call our support line. We remain committed to serving you with dignity, efficiency, and care as we embrace this new chapter. This announcement is brought to you by Malawi Airlines Management.
Malawi Airlines, from the warm heart of Africa.
A very warm welcome. This is Luntha Tv and I'm Kathy Matura bringing you the news with hope and faith live from the Bishop Nevi Media Center here in Lilongwe. First, the headlines. Pope Leo XIV urges faithful in Pompey to trust in Jesus who never rejects them. Malawi Energy Regulatory Authority MERA uses stabilization funds to prevent diesel price hike. Government hails progress in malaria fight ahead of 2030 elimination goal. In our exclusive report this week, Tandiwe Mzumara highlights Malawi's challenging journey towards achieving immunization for all children and the gradual progress being made as shown by the second round of the nationwide polio vaccination campaign. And now the news in detail. Pope Leo XIV has encouraged the faithful and chariot workers at the Shrine of Pompey to place their trust in Jesus Christ, describing him as the friend who never abandons or rejects his people and urging them to allow prayer and charity to guide their lives and mission. During his pastoral visit to Pompey on Friday, the Holy Father met with volunteers and members of the Shrine's charitable institutions at the Temple of Charity, marking the first event of his visit to Pompey and the Naples. We have a Vatican News report read by Phyllis Chizombe.
Pope Leo XIV thanked the volunteers for their generosity and commitment to serving those in need, noting that it was meaningful for him to begin the visit in the footsteps of Saint Bartolo Longo, whom he canonized last year. The Pope described the Shrine of Pompeii as a place of grace to where Our Lady of the Rosary and Saint Bartolo Longo gather people of every age and background in order to lead them to God, the source of true love, serenity, and harmony. Reflecting on the charitable mission of the Shrine, Pope Leo said the power of Christ's resurrection is experienced there every day through works of love that regenerate hearts according to the gospel. He emphasized that the temple of charity and the temple of faith sustain one another, explaining that prayer nourishes service, generosity, and welcome, while love accomplishes works that go beyond human effort and expectation. Recalling the life of Saint Bartolo Longo, the Holy Father noted that when the saint first arrived in Pompeii, he encountered widespread poverty, suffering, and hardship, yet he was able to recognize the face of Christ in every person, especially in orphans and the children of prisoners. Pope Leo XIV stressed that prayer, particularly the Holy Rosary, remains the foundation of every charitable and spiritual work carried out at the shrine. He described the Rosary as the hidden force that makes all other works possible. The Pope urged the faithful to preserve and spread devotion to the Rosary, saying that contemplating the mysteries of Christ through the eyes of Mary transforms hearts and renews lives. He also encouraged those serving at the shrine to become men and women of prayer who reflect the light of God through their words and actions, nourishing the flame of love first lit by Saint Bartolo Longo. Addressing children, adolescents, and young people, Pope Leo invited them to trust those who care for them with love, but above all, to place their confidence in Jesus Christ. Pope Leo concluded by entrusting humanity to the care of Christ through the intercession of the Blessed Virgin Mary, expressing hope that with God's grace, nothing would prevent people from doing good and working toward a future of peace.
The Malawi Energy Regulatory Authority (MERA) has used the price stabilization funds to prevent an increase in diesel prices despite rising global fuel costs that would have pushed prices up by 7.56% under the automatic pricing mechanism APM. At the same time, MERA has reduced petrol prices by 6.93% in a move aimed at easing the burden on consumers and maintaining stability in the local fuel market. Speaking during a press briefing on Friday, MERA Chief Executive Officer Dad Chintambi said the intervention was necessary to cushion Malawians from sharp fuel price adjustments. Emmanuel Chiwocha has filed this report.
Waloi says government has scaled up interventions, including the distribution of over 17 million mosquito nets, expansion of malaria vaccination for children, mass drug administration, and community awareness campaigns aimed at reducing mosquito breeding sites. She has since urged Malawians to take individual responsibility by maintaining clean surroundings, sleeping under treated mosquito nets, and ensuring children
Speaking during the press briefing, Chintambi said petrol is now selling at 6,209 kwacha per litre, down by 463 kwacha from 6,672 kwacha per litre, representing 6.9% reduction. Chintambi attributed the reduction to the automatic pricing mechanism, saying the system has helped to stabilize fuel pricing in the country. He added that diesel prices will remain at 6,687 kwacha per litre due to the price stabilization fund, which has helped cushioning fluctuations in the global fuel prices.
So this inbound landed cost, IBLC plus FOB, when all is considered and the APM comes into the mix, that's our automatic pricing mechanism comes into the mix. The outcomes were that petrol had to be reduced by 6.93%, but diesel remained up. It had to, the outcome showed that it needed to be increased by 7.56%.
Meanwhile, MERA says it continues to monitor global diesel prices and assure the public that any future adjustment will be communicated in accordance with the law and principle of transparency. The authority has also assured Malawians of continued fuel availability across the country and urged the public against panic buying and storing fuel in containers. For Luntha News in Lilongwe, this is Emmanuel Chiwocha.
Minister of Health and Sanitation Madaliso Paloi says Malawi has registered significant progress in fighting against malaria, with cases reducing by about 4 million between 2024 and 2025. Speaking during World Malaria Day commemorations held at the Ministry of Health headquarters in Lilongwe, Baloi said the country is celebrating the progress made so far while intensifying efforts towards eliminating malaria by 2030. More in this report filed by Judith Organ.
Baloi says government has carried out interventions, including the distribution of over 17 million mosquito nets, expansion of malaria vaccination for children, mass drug administration, and community awareness campaigns aimed at reducing mosquito breeding sites. She has since urged Malawians to take individual responsibility by maintaining clean surroundings, sleeping under treated mosquito nets, and ensuring children complete all 4 doses of the malaria vaccine.
Today we are commemorating Malaria Day worldwide, and in Malawi we are celebrating, but also it's a core. We are celebrating the achievements that we've registered so far. Like for example, from 2024 to 2025, we've noted that the cases of malaria have gone down by 4 million people, which is a lot, and also the deaths that are caused by malaria have also reduced with 683 from 2024 to 2025. So we are celebrating the progress that is there.
Meanwhile, World Health Organization representative Dr. Charles Juguna says despite the reduction in malaria cases, the disease remains a major public health burden in Malawi. He says malaria still accounts for 34% of outpatient cases and 30% of child hospital admissions in the country, warning that more action is needed to reduce deaths, especially among children.
Malawi is making progress towards elimination of malaria, but we have to acknowledge that despite the decline in trends, there is still a lot of work to be done. As we speak, 34% of the outpatient cases are due to malaria. 30% of the children that are admitted in hospitals in Malawi, it is due to malaria.
Meanwhile, Save the Children Director of Program Operations, Partnership and Awards Management for the Malawi-Zimbabwe cluster, Chakufa Muntali, has pledged continued support towards malaria control through its Selena Treatment Kit project being implemented in primary schools in partnership with the Ministry of Health and Education.
So we are really working hand in hand, supporting or complementing government efforts and in fighting malaria through the Ministry of Health, but also the Ministry of Education, as LTK project is being implemented in schools, primary schools. So that's what we are doing as Save the Children, and we are so grateful for the support that we are getting from government, but also to our donors, Background, as well as Judith Foundation.
Government says Malawi remains committed to eliminating malaria by 2030 through strengthened partnerships, community participation, and continuing investment in prevention and treatment interventions.
Vice President Dr. Jane Ansah has emphasized the importance of women participating in decision-making processes, saying women are equally entitled to human rights just like men. Speaking on Friday in Lilongwe, where she met a delegation from the Women's Manifesto movement led by the Women's Legal Resource Center WALREC, Dr. Ansah encouraged women to remain active in politics and leadership positions to help address challenges affecting them. More details in this report filed by Cherit Chilanga.
Dr. Jane Ansah emphasized the need for women's economic empowerment and greater participation in leadership citing Rwanda's investment in women's education as key to increasing female representation in civil service. She also highlighted challenges affecting women, including gender-based violence, health inequalities, and limited access to education, while urging continued advocacy for women's rights and government investment in quality public services. Warwick Executive Director Maggie Banda says the delegation made Vice President Dr. Jen Ansah to present the Women's Manifesto outlining women's challenges and expectations from government following the party's rise to power.
Okay, so maybe before I actually focus on the meeting, let me just explain what the Women's Manifesto is. So the Women's Manifesto is a document that contains what women said in terms of their challenges and what they expect government to be doing, but not just government, but even also other duty bearers. So it has 15 thematic areas under which we captured voices of women. So what we did prior to 2025 elections was to present the same to different presidential candidates from different political parties. Unfortunately, at that time, we did not meet the DPP presidential.
UN Women representative in Malawi, Lady Jiwala, has commended Malawi's progress in promoting gender equality and pledged continued collaboration in advancing women's leadership, education, health, and economic empowerment.
Today has been a momentous day for the women's movement of Malawi because we had the audience with Right Honorable the Vice President of Malawi to present the Women's Manifesto. What came out of this meeting was a commitment from the women's movement to push the issues that affect women and to work together as one to ensure that we lead by example.
The Women's Manifesto is a document developed through nationwide consultations capturing women's concerns and expectations from government and other duty bearers. The document contains 15 thematic areas including violence against women and girls, access to justice, education, health, and women's participation in politics and decision making.
In business news, Human Rights Consultative Committee HRCC has given traders who closed their shops over the electronic invoicing system EIS 14 days to reopen them, warning that those who fail to comply risk losing their business licenses. Speaking during a press briefing in Blantyre, HRCC board chairperson Robert Mkwezalamba said the closure of shops show a misunderstanding of the new tax system and accused some traders of abandoning dialogue despite several meetings held with the Malawi Revenue Authority, MRA. Constance Kamtemeni reports.
In his remarks, Mkwezalamba said the electronic invoicing system is not a new tax, but a digital system introduced to improve transparency, accountability, and efficiency in tax collection through real-time electronic invoicing. He also said forcing businesses to close shops is illegal and affects economic activity, adding that authorities must take action against individuals accused of intimidating traders who have complied with the new system.
Businesses must subscribe and register to EIS. They need to register and proceed to comply with EIS provisions and all laws governing trading in Malawi. Authorities to address violations of laws, i.e. forcing people to close shops, as we have evidence of individuals who went around forcing shop closures.
Mkwezalamba further called on the government to review the current EIS threshold to ensure more businesses are included in the system and comply with tax laws. The briefing comes amid reports of protests and temporary shop closures by some traders in parts of the country following the rollout of the electronic invoicing system by the Malawi Revenue Authority on May 1, 2026.
You're watching News Live on Luntha TV News, and I'm Kathy Matura. Before we proceed, here are the headlines once again. Pope Leo XIV urges faithful in Pompey to trust in Jesus who never rejects them. Malawi Energy Regulatory Authority MERA uses stabilization funds to prevent diesel price hike. Government hails progress in malaria fight ahead of 2030 elimination goal. In our exclusive report this week, Tandiwe Mzumara highlights Malawi's challenging journey towards achieving immunization for all children and the gradual progress being made as shown by the second round of the nationwide polio vaccination campaign. Welcome back. I'm Kathy Matura and you're watching Luntha TV News. Moving on, the Catholic Commission for Justice and Peace, CCJP, says it is working closely with people with albinism in the country to promote their protection, welfare and human rights. Speaking to Luntha Television, CCJP National Coordinator Louis Msiadungu said the initiative aims to ensure that people with albinism live in dignity and are free from discrimination, abuse and stigma. More details in this report compiled by Alison Banda.
Msiadungu said the organization is currently implementing various activities in Zomba and Machinga districts aimed at supporting and empowering people with albinism. He added that the program could be expanded to other districts across the country if adequate funding and resources are secured. According to Siadongo, CCJP remains committed to advocating for equal rights and opportunities, security and social inclusion for people with albinism worldwide.
Indeed, as you have rightly said, sir, that we are working in Zomba Diocese on a project to do with people with albinism. This project started some time back, about 5-7 years ago, whereby we noted that people living with albinism are facing a lot of problems, right from killings, their graveyards being dark, and even discrimination from a lot of things. So we started with sensitization.
In her remarks, CCJP representative in Zomba, Rhoda Ngambi, stressed the need for continued awareness campaigns and community engagements and end discrimination against people with albinism. Ngambi further said the society has a responsibility to protect, respect, and uphold the rights of people with albinism just like any other citizens.
We are looking at empowering when it comes to the socioeconomic aspect. We've made them choose vocational skills so that they can be trained, and right now we are supporting them on that matter when it comes to fighting for their rights. So we are fighting for their socioeconomic rights in their communities right now. When it comes to the killings of persons with albinism throughout the year, we took it upon ourselves to look at this angle because most of the NGOs do not really support persons with albinism in that aspect. So we thought it wise that these are also people, they're also human beings, and they also deserve to be recognized in the community.
CCJP says it remains hopeful that sustained awareness, advocacy, and community support will help create a society where people with albinism can live safely, equally, and with dignity.
The Center for Democracy and Economic Development Initiative, CDED, has warned business owners protesting against the electronic invoicing system, EIS, to reopen their shops or risk losing their business licenses. Speaking during a press briefing in Lilongwe, CDED Executive Director Sylvester Namiwa accused some business operators of deliberately resisting the tax system for selfish interests, saying the continued closure of shops is negatively affecting the country's economy. Adams Mwenelupembe reports.
Namiwa said the protest through shop closures is counterproductive and urged traders to comply with the new electronic tax system introduced by the Malawi Revenue Authority, MRA. He has since challenged relevant government ministries and agencies to take action against traders refusing to comply with the system, arguing that enforcement is necessary to protect economic stability. At the same time, Namiwa urged the Malawi Revenue Authority to work together with business operators willing to migrate to the new system by assisting them in addressing technical challenges instead of immediately resorting to punitive measures.
Ultimatum up to Monday, those business people that are closing their shops in the protest of EIS should open, or else they should pack up and go. In the same vein, we are challenging the relevant government entities, starting with the Ministry of Homeland Security and Trade and Industry, to review and revoke the licenses of those people that are subjugating our otherwise fragile economy. We are warm-hearted, but sometimes we should not allow to be pushed to the extreme.
Remains in force as of May 1st, 2026, despite resistance from some sections of business community. For Luntha News, 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 for Luntha News.
The Ministry of Health and Sanitation has surpassed its target in the second round of national polio vaccination campaign after vaccinating 6.6 million children across the country. Through the campaign, conducted from April 27 to 30th, authorities had initially aimed to vaccinate at least 6.2 million children under the age of 10 nationwide. The ministry and stakeholders have since described the 106% coverage as a major success in efforts to prevent the spread of polio in the country, noting that it is a nominal achievement. During the second round of the polio vaccination campaign, our reporter Tandiwe Mzumara toured some districts across the country, and in this exclusive report, she highlights Malawi's challenging journey towards achieving immunization for all children.
Malawi, like many countries around the world, has in recent years battled outbreaks of diseases such as cholera, COVID-19, mpox, and polio. In response, authorities introduced measures including vaccination campaigns targeting vulnerable groups. However, polio vaccination efforts have continued to face resistance fueled by traditional and religious misconceptions. People in traditional authority Kabulula, Lilongwe district, have also had the belief that once a child gets a dosage of a vaccine, he or she shall die. Likewise, at Lifu in Salima district, people were believing that through the vaccines, authorities are trying to reduce the population, according to Senior Assistant Environmental Health Officer at Lifu Health Center, Kennedy Nyuenda.
They were believing that these vaccines are maybe they are family planning, they are contraceptive or family planning methods, trying to make the population of children or population of people in the area to be reduced by them receiving the vaccine. So,
due to such misconceptions towards vaccines, the United Nations Children's Emergency Fund UNICEF noted that in Malawi, authorities fail to reach out to at least 30,000 children with vaccines annually. However, progress is gradually being made, as shown by the second round of the nationwide polio vaccination campaign, which achieved 106% coverage after reaching 6.6 million children against a target of 6.2 million. In Salima alone, the government targeted to reach out to 187,711 children with the vaccine, and healthcare workers had administered the vaccine to 67,439 children across the district on the first day of the exercise alone.
So we are using social mobilization. We are involving the chiefs, we are involving the school teachers, we are involving the community as a whole to tell them, to give them that idea that polio campaign is here, polio vaccine is here. We're giving them the dangers of not vaccinating children.
A partnership with religious and traditional leaders to combat misinformation and myths surrounding vaccines helped Doha District Health Office make great strides of administering the vaccine to over 239,000 children under 10 years old in the district.
But we are working with local leaders, such as religious as well as traditional authorities, to make sure that we address these vaccine hesitancy and refusals.
Countrywide, health workers were also being deployed everywhere, including hard-to-reach areas, to ensure everyone had access to vaccine. With a target of 579,000 children, Mangochi District Deputy Coordinator for the Extended Program on Immunization EPI, Gertrude Maida, expressed confidence that the district would meet its target, saying health promotion officers had worked hard to clarify the importance of the second round of immunization.
Of course, some were wondering why we are having around 2 campaigns, so we have reached them with enough information that a child who will be immunized has to receive 3 or more doses.
Positive response from parents and caregivers also helped Zomba District Health Office make progress, having vaccinated over 200,000 children, representing 64% of its 330,447 target by day 2.
There's this thing of vaccination fatigue among the community. So what I can urge our caregivers out there is that they should not get tired. For the children to get protected, they need to receive multiple doses. So
involvement of local leaders was also key to ensuring that more children were getting vaccinated in the country. And according to traditional authority Kabudula Oflilongwe, traditional leaders in his area played a huge role in mobilizing community members for the exercise.
awuze anthu amene ali ndi ana apite ku masenta konse kumene kuli makatemera apite ana akabayitse katemera komanso ena ndi achitetezo amene tikuwagwiritsa ntchito.
Government, through the Minister of Health Mandalitso Valoi, praised the strong progress made in protecting children from vaccine-preventable diseases.
We've noted in the first round that some children were not vaccinated. This is due to parents not taking this campaign seriously, but we are saying polio is very dangerous to this nation. Polio causes permanent paralysis, and polio sometimes it causes death.
UNICEF country representative Penelope Campbell noted that community members needed to understand that the vaccines were free and helpful to their children.
We need to ensure that over 95% of all Malawian children are vaccinated each and every year. And that way we get what we call herd immunity. And in that way, what that means is we don't have any outbreaks.
Reiterating that vaccination is crucial as it annually saves lives for over 3 million children across the world, World Health Organization WHO country representative Dr. Charles Njuguna expressed WHO's commitment towards eradicating polio globally.
Polio is one of the diseases that WHO has targeted for eradication. And when we talk about eradication, we mean a complete wipe up of a disease from the face of the earth. So far, we have managed for smallpox, and therefore polio is the next disease we are targeting to eradicate from the face of the earth.
Health rights activist George Jobe has since described the achievement as a milestone, noting that Malawi is effectively creating a barrier of herd immunity to stop the spread of poliovirus.
They should respect the right to life of their children, that they should not suffer any disability due to polio because the parents belong to another religion. Those children will choose what religion to join when they grow up.
The polio vaccination campaign started with Round 0 from February 11th to 14th, 2026, targeting 8 districts. During the exercise, at least 1.5 million children were vaccinated. The first round of the exercise was then conducted between March 24th and 27th, 2026 in all districts of the country, where 6.2 million children were covered. Recently, the Ministry of Health declared the outbreak of polio after a poliovirus type 2 was detected in 2 environmental samples taken from 2 sewerage plants in Luntha.
That special report by Tandiwe Mzumara on the success of the polio vaccination campaign brings us to the end of this bulletin. But before we go, here is a recap of the main stories. Pope Leo XIV urges faithful in Pompey to trust in Jesus who never rejects them. Malawi Energy Regulatory Authority MERA uses stabilization funds to prevent diesel price hike. Government hails progress in malaria fight ahead of 2030 elimination goal. In our exclusive report this week, Tandiwe Zumara highlights Malawi's challenging journey towards achieving immunization for all children and the gradual progress being made as shown by the second round of the nationwide polio vaccination campaign. From all of us here at Bishop Nevi Media Center, we wish you a blessed weekend and remember to look out for one another. I'm Kathy Matura. May God guide Malawi. Stay blessed and keep well. Goodbye for now.